I love T Swift. T Swift is my jam. I'm super into it. I know it is a very unpopular opinion.
Are you talking about Taylor Swift?
Duh.
Okay.
Fucking. I will say this whole new thing T Swift has got going on is a little weird. How she's been like kind of in the headlines a little bit with, political activism shit, which
Yeah.
I don't really care about. But I also, a lot of cases, I don't really want to hear musicians, you know, their political leanings. It's just like, shut up, do your music. That's what you're good at. Stop.
Yeah.
So a little irritation there, but either way, I think she's incredible. I kind of like that poppy, feel good
Oh my
music,
God.
like Katy Perry "Roar." That's infectious. That is an infectious song. Like you can't listen to it and deny that it's not a good song. You may hate the genre, but it's like you may hate country music, but if The Devil Went Down to Georgia comes on, it's like, yeah, it's a good song. Like it's a
Well,
decent
yeah.
song. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying there. You can't it's not fingernails on a chalkboard. I think a lot of guys
Mm.
refuse to admit that it's good music because it makes them gay. Is like what I think a lot of percentage of what it boils down to. They would never admit they like that style of music or that it's a good song because
Hmm.
you're gay if you think that. You know what I mean? We need to listen to Five Finger Death Punch and fucking blah 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 or something like that.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. It's my opinion. Um,
Hmm.
yeah. What are your thoughts on T Swift?
Man, I have a lot, and it's really, really hard to put them into words because I try to. I don't want to just bully. It's really hard to find the point where I. So the early stuff is good, I think.
Yeah, and see, I
The
disagree
early
with that.
the early stuff is more it has more believability. The pop stuff once she went to because I'll say the beginning stuff was country pop, I want to call it, and then the
Hmm.
after that it was just strictly pop, and it's like she wanted to become Britney Spears,
Yeah,
right?
she changed her whole music style. Now the country is
And
done.
that's when I'm off the fucking boat right there because
See, that's when
the
I
big
jumped on. I took your spot. I jumped right
yeah,
into your
you took
spot.
my spot, you can have it. But look, it's like love song, great fucking song. You belong with
That's
me, good. Back to December, good. I like Shake It Off. Shake It Off is a good song. See,
shake
that's
it off, shake
that's
it
where
off.
I kind of just I'll pop on the boat just for that and then jump back off. I liked that song. That was a good song. But the rest of it is just so it's I cannot stand her. I cannot imagine if I'm sitting across from her ever in my life, like at a restaurant, I am out of there like there's a fire. I can't stand her. But
Huh.
I think a couple of those early songs were fucking good, in my opinion.
I think so. 1989. That's the album I'm all about. Which is, right after she got out of the country. It's not her most recent album. I think
No,
that album.
there was an album before that that wasn't country. Of I knew you were trouble when you walked in. That was before 1989.
Let's look up some discography shit here.
It's like, and the thing is, I think she plays the victim so much. I think during the country pop age, she was playing the victim. And then what happened was, I think it was 2009 or 2010, the Kanye West thing happened, which then the whole country went, "Oh my god, she's the victim." And then she just was like, "Boom, I'm
Wait,
already
wait,
on
wait,
that victim train." And then the country jumped onto it. We're on the
wait,
victim
whoa.
train too, and then she
What
just went
happened?
full victim.
What
when
what
Kanye
happened?
went Kanye went on the stage at the VMAs and grabbed the mic and said, "Hang on, Taylor, I'm gonna let you finish." But Beyonce had the greatest video of all time when she won an award for Music Video of the Year.
And people were like, "That's sex." I kind of remember this, but
Yeah, and people were like, "Oh my God, how could he do that to her? Like a young girl living out her like she finally got an award for a video or
was
whatever." And
she
then he was
pissed?
just, I don't remember.
This was the red one, right? Bad
Well, the
Blood? Is
Kanye
that what
thing
you're
was
talking about?
yeah, the Kanye
That's the
thing was like 09, 010. That I Knew You Were Trouble song was like 2012, 2013. That's when she went pop with that Red album.
Okay, let's
And then
see.
1989 came
She has
after that.
seven. She has 7 studio albums. Just fucking list them. Okay.
Wow.
Why are they doing that? Why are they doing this to me?
I'm just saying.
Okay.
And then
Wow.
so
Okay. So they have title Taylor Swift. That must be like singles or something like that. So Fearless. I believe that's the
mhm,
latest one. No. What the fuck?
dude, you could
Oh
have
no
had
no
me
no.
look it
That's
up.
that. I'm going the opposite way. That's a fucking. That's a. That must be a country album. That's why that's not familiar. So Lover is the latest one. That's August 23rd, 2019. Reputation is the one before that, and then 1989. 1989 is the one I'm all about.
Mhm.
Um, does it give songs here?
Love Story was a great song.
Okay,
And then
what I'm getting at.
she goes from that to look what you made me do. Look what you made me do.
Okay,
Look
okay,
what you
okay.
just made me do. Look what
Okay,
you just
totally.
made me
I'm
do.
not
That's
super.
that's
Okay. That's the new. That's a new single or whatever.
yeah.
And I'm not totally sold on her new music. But what I will say is when I kind of like dove into Taylor Swift, which would have been like like 5 years ago. I like I put her on like Pandora one time because I'd heard a song and I was like, okay, I want to hear more songs, and then it would pop up and I was starting to realize how many good songs were on 1989. And I was like, this is crazy. And then you get into 1989, the album, it is just banger after banger after banger. And whatever, you can hate on the music, but at the end of the day, she's just written a pretty good amount of good songs, like of number one songs, radio play quality songs, which most people have trouble even getting to that point. And then what I'll also argue is in a short amount of time on one album, she wrote pretty much a whole album of singles. And it's not just like an 8-track album. It's a full album, and almost every single song on the album is just incredible. They're all bangers. I mean, that was the one she won the video album of the year. So not only did she write that, then dude, she is no joke. And that album is no joke. To me, you can hate me all you want, one of the best albums of all time. Like hands down. It's one of
Oh my
the
God.
most well-written albums of all time, and it's so underrated. She doesn't get the credit she deserves for that album. I'm not saying she's better than all the other musicians ever. I'm saying if we're just looking at albums, which to me is a big deal, she should be at the top of the list of writing a single album. And then not only that, she did it by herself, which is fucking badass.
I think
Very few bands have done good albums.
yeah, I think that she is just corporate. She's not even pop, she's like corporate pop. She is so safe. You can't find anyone safer. Like this is what 10-year-old girls will buy in the store because their moms allow them to because it's so
Okay?
safe. Like give me an
Totes.
edge. Give me the smallest little fucking edge that
Okay, I
I can
hear
see.
what you're
Like
saying,
just
but
drop the word fuck
okay,
in a song or
okay,
something like that.
I totally get what you're saying. I think you're being
Yeah.
a little over harsh on that. It's still decent
No.
to listen to. Okay, I get that, but
I like Shake It Off.
you're making it sound like okay. It's not easy. That isn't easy to write that many singles. You can say that it's just dumb, simple music, whatever. Well, then go fucking write a whole album of it and go make yourself into one of the richest people in Hollywood. You know what I mean? You're never going to do it because what she
Yeah.
did is an incredible accomplishment. Like, those songs are ridiculously good. It's single after single after single after single. And then so, what other bands have done that? Very few bands. Fucking, you have Green Day, you have Green Day with American Idiot, a fucking incredible album. You have the
Thriller.
Beatles. The Beatles are a hard one because you could argue a few albums, but I'm going to say strictly Abbey Road. You have Pink
Okay.
Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon.
Yep.
Fuck all their other albums, but that one is kind of a cheap album because it's not really a full album, except some of the songs are just really long.
Well, not fuck all their other albums, but that's the album people go to when you want to say every song could be a single.
I just do not like all their other albums are not. This is the argument I'm making with Taylor Swift, and I'll make with all the other bands. Is none of the other albums are done properly. They're not, and maybe Taylor's. There's different reasons I like all the other albums, like Green Day, American Idiot. They accomplished something by writing. There's kind of a theme to the album, and then they tied it all together. It, to me, was brilliant.
Right.
Taylor Swift didn't do that with that album, but she did release an album of nothing but singles, which, fuck that, no one can do that. Then you could kind of...
Yeah, it's not a cohesive album, though.
Yes, yes. Whereas all the other albums...
Dark Side of the Moon.
And then Abbey Road, those are kind of... But you could argue... Okay, but then there's a side argument to even those albums, is their singles on those albums were kind of cherry-picked from another place and thrown into the album just to give them a radio play song.
Yeah.
Whereas Taylor Swift, you literally cherry-pick any song off of it and throw it on the radio. Fucking American Idiot, you only have American Idiot. Well, Boulevard of Broken Dreams caught, but then with, like, Dark Side of the Moon, you really only have Money. Which that song doesn't fit in the album. It really doesn't. It kind of like if you just close your eyes and listen to that album, it comes out of left field. It's like this doesn't really match. Like
no, that was for radio.
Yes, and then same with Abbey Road. You got the first song, "Come Together." You know, it's like you got that, and then the rest of the album. Which I'm not bitching. I fucking love it, but I will say there is something to be said about if you want to rate the best albums of all time, about just singles, just throwing singles out. And there's probably a lot. And then you had brought up, when we talked about this before, you'd brought up Thriller. I can't remember. I can't remember the list of songs on Thriller, but I'm sure Michael Jackson.
Well, I know people go to that when they say this is an album full of singles, hits.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
And I wouldn't. You can't argue with MJ.
Right.
MJ has. I'm not exactly sure his albums, the way they play out. I can't, I don't think I've ever actually sat down and listened to an MJ album start to finish before. I probably should. But
dude,
he does
Taylor
have
Swift. It's not like the great minds of the world are sitting around at the end of the day with like a scotch in a dark room. Let's put a record on. Let's put on 1989. Oh my God, this is so deep. This really just takes me to the darkest places of time where I can really just sit. Fuck that.
Okay, totally.
She's just such a victim. I think she plays the victim so much, and then the Kanye West thing just propelled it to like light speed, and people are just like, oh my God, she's doing it. Like she wins 10 Grammys, and people are just like, oh, she won a Grammy. Like if she could do it, we could do it. Like she's normal like us. Because she looks like a lanky, awkward 15-year-old boy. And see, that's when I get into more like bully mode stuff. It's like people are just like, oh, she's doing it. She can do it. She can do it.
Maybe
like, if she could do it, anybody.
And maybe I just defend her so much because I think she's gorgeous. I think she's banging hot. I love Taylor Swift. She's right up my alley.
And I wrote down 6 female pop stars that I think are better today.
Whoa. Okay.
Okay, Rihanna, Demi, Gaga, Halsey, Billie, and Miley. All better than Taylor Swift. Give me an edge. Just say like, and then we fucked in the back seat. Just like say that, or just say like, show a picture of you doing cocaine or smoking weed. Give me just a slight little tiny edge.
You don't have to. Okay, whatever. I get what you're saying. I just disagree. I disagree with that list you made. I'm not saying any. Some of those I don't even know. Demi Lovato? Is that who you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even list a song. I have no idea what any of her songs are.
It's okay.
Gaga, maybe, but still, I would argue she didn't put an album out that is, that one, what was the one with, what album is that? Or like, it was her debut album, right? The one that just fucking caught on fire. The poker face. Hey.
Yeah.
The
talent,
by the time you get
Taylor
through,
Swift
there's
album.
only like 4 songs on there, and the rest is garbage. Fucking, she is super talented. I've watched Lady Gaga do some like, old YouTube videos of like her and her old band. They did like a old Zeppelin song when she was super young, playing at a bar, and she's very talented.
There was I forget what I was watching it on. There was her performing with Metallica, and it was her and Metallica practicing before the performance, and then you saw the performance, and you're just like, holy fuck.
Boom. I just love
Very
T
talented.
Swift. Her music comes on and it makes me happy. And I
That's
think it
okay.
would make other people happy if they just set their ego off at the door and just enjoyed it a little bit. When Katy Perry sings Roar, if you don't enjoy, if you don't, whoa, bop, 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 then I don't think you have a soul. Like any little kid hears that, that's not brainwashed yet, and is just this pure little person. They hear Roar, and they're just like, this song rocks. And it's like, yeah, because it does rock. You just like want to hear Metallica. The little kid hears Metallica, and unless you like push him into it, he's like, "What the fuck is this? Like, why are we listening to this?"
Yeah, I need some. I need some. I need an edge, like a hardcore one too. That's just what I need. But Taylor Swift has a couple good songs. I won't deny it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, okay,
It's okay that you like it.
We'll be back.